The biggest surprise to everyone was him being selected in jersey number 17, Kaufusi Pikora, and Ezra Mam there as number 20, coached by Billy Slater. Gordy, I mean, you know, they're going for 3 series wins in a row. It's
you can't question what Billy does. When I first heard of Selwyn Cobbo carrying a winger on the bench, I nearly choked because of Origin, right? But when you realise that Cook had to go play in the centres last year, and then they always talk about that fourth forward, and he might only play 15 minutes, so they're going to gamble on that 15 or 20 minutes that they get out of one guy that they throw in just after half time, that if someone goes down out wide. So that's the gamble. Yeah. Right?
Yep.
But is it worth taking?
Yeah. Well, Billy knows his stuff, right?
Well,
I mean, Billy would have spent. I remember at one point he said that if Ponga was fit, he would have had Ponga and Walsh in the same team. So yes. He would have had Ponga as 17, not Selwyn Cobbo, maybe. You know, so he's got an idea there with how he's going to use Cobbo. You know, Cobbo and Ponga are different players, but he would have a plan and a process and A, B, C, and D for how he wants to use Cobbo or what could happen throughout the game.
Yeah, and just on David Fifita, he's playing great now, but he missed a lot of the pre-season, so he did come back a little bit underdone for the Gold Coast Tigers.
Let's head to Queensland now. Billy Slater is live from the Caxton Hotel. Billy, thanks for joining us. You're going for 3 series wins in a row. Why are you so confident that this team can get the job done?
I've watched plenty of their footy. That's the one thing that I certainly have done over the last 12 weeks, Braith. And they've got good habits in their game. They're fit, they're healthy. And, you know, this team's created a really high standard over the last couple of years. But it's really important that we go and re-earn that standard, and we'll be doing that over the next 10 days.
Hey, Billy, it's Gordy here. There's a couple of players that you haven't been watching, and that's Tino and Big Flegler. Are they hard positions to fill, and how are we going to counter New South Wales' size?
Yeah, we've got, like New South Wales, there's a number of injuries in and around the game, and firstly, I feel for the player, Gordy. I know how much those players and the New South Wales players, they put into their careers, and I've been in that position where I've missed out on big games and missed out on Origin series, and it's not much fun. So my heart goes out to the players that are missing out first and foremost. With injuries comes opportunity, and there's a number of players that are playing to the standard of this footy team, and we see some get an opportunity in this team here in game 1, and Jaden Sewers won, Jermaine Hopgood, Mo Fodawaker, and we've got 3 middles that'll start the game that you know, have been a real cornerstone of our pack over the last couple of years. So they'll be leading from the front.
Billy, with respect to the boys you've picked on the edges, I find it hard to believe that David Fifita couldn't make your squad, even on the extended squad. What was the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, David created a really high standard for himself last year, and through a few different reasons, he just hasn't quite hit that standard. I had a conversation with Dave last night, and there were some great phone calls that I was able to make, and there were some tough ones as well, and the one to Dave was a tough one. But to be honest, it was he took it like a true Queenslander. He wished the team all the best. So he reiterated that later on with a text message as well. So I was really pleased with the way that he handled the disappointing news. And I've got no doubt that Dave will be wearing a maroon jersey at some time in the future, and I look forward to making a nice phone call to him one day.
And it had nothing to do, Billy, with his recent contract and the backflip and the, what was going on in his life on the side?
Absolutely zero, Buzz.
Sure.
Hey, Billy, Brent Reid. I wanted to ask you about Selwyn Cobbo, Bill, on the bench. How do you envisage he'll be used, and what was the thought process there?
Yeah, well, to be honest, 4 of our last 6 games we've had to replace an outside back, so that's probably the first reason. But the second reason is Selwyn Cobbo's a wonderful player. He can play a number of positions. We've seen him play wing, centre, fullback for the Broncos, and he's just one of those players that you just want out on the field. So we'll build a bit of a plan around how to inject him into the game if he's not needed in the outside backs, and we'll go from there. And Queensland's been accustomed to do that over the years. I've seen Cooper Cronk, Daly Cherry Evans, Callum Ponga's played in the middle of the field. So we'll work out what's best for the team and what's best for Selwyn.
I was going to say that, but we have seen Cooper and Kalen. You mentioned they're used in the middle. Could you see Selwyn playing that sort of role at some point next Wednesday night?
I can. Anything's possible, and Selwyn's a big body, and bringing him on the field would be a dangerous prospect. So Selwyn being out there on the field at some stage throughout the game is going to be exciting for Queenslanders, and he's never let Queensland down. He's done a wonderful job whenever he's pulled on the maroon jersey, and he's playing some good football, and there's a number of options there for us.
Hey, Billy, just talking about the fullback, obviously Reece Walsh, you picked him last year. His game went to new heights. What do you think of his game this year, and are you going to tinker it a little bit?
No, we just want the best Reece Walsh that he can be, and I'm looking forward to helping him become that. He's 21 years old, Gordy, and he's already done so much in his career already, and really proud of where he's got his footy. He works really hard. He's a respectful young man, and I've really enjoyed working alongside him, and that won't be any different over the next 10 days. So looking forward to helping him become the best fullback that he can possibly be, and that'll help our team immensely. So he's a wonderful player, and I'm glad he's in our team.
Hey Billy, I know you're totally focused on Origin for the next 6 weeks, but people are always asking, do you have any urge at all to coach an NRL club?
I'm giving you the same answer a couple of times. The absolutely zero, Buzz.
You're joking.
2 duck eggs for Buzz.
You're not talking to Parramatta next week or anything?
I can guarantee you that I'm Queensland's coach, and if I'm not Queensland's coach, I'm no one's coach.
Billy, we've gone off track a little bit here. I'll get us back to Origin now. The back five for New South Wales it's a pretty good back five if you look at it. They're strong, they're big, they're powerful, they're tall. How do you counter that?
We'll get our game on. That's the first thing we've got to do, Braith, and you're absolutely right. And you can pick 2 New South Wales teams and they'd be as equally strong. And there's much debate about who's not there, but we'll certainly be focusing on who's there. They're great players. They're very dangerous, and we will give them the time that they deserve and the respect that they deserve in our preparation. That's for sure. But the best form of defence is your attack, and if you get your footy on, you get your game on, well, that takes a fair bit out of it. So we'll be focusing on ourselves a lot, but we'll be giving the opposition the respect that they deserve.
Billy, got to ask about Tommy Dearden, that decision to go with Tommy over Ezra Mam. I imagine that was a really difficult decision for you. What swayed you what swayed you towards Tommy rather than Ezra?
Yeah, well, we've got them both in camp, and they've both earned the opportunity to come into camp. Ezra's developed his game over the last 12 months, and earned a spot in the 34-man squad at the start of the year, and he's playing to the quality of what this team has created. There's probably not a wrong decision there. I just felt that Tom has competed in every game that he's played. He's a wonderful player. He's been a part of this group for the last 2 years. He got his opportunity in Game 3, 2022, and did a wonderful job. So, I don't think there was a wrong decision, but this is the way we went.
Billy, you're a class act. Thanks for joining us. Good luck getting that 3rd series in a row, but not too much luck. That's okay.
Thanks, gents.
On you, Billy. As Billy just said, the best form of defence is attack, which is a pretty good attitude. He says he just wants to focus on the players that are in the team, but we're going to focus on the players that aren't. There was only 2 real surprises, and that was Fifita and Selwyn Cobbo. Not he's in the team, but on the bench. What's our thoughts on those 2?
I was surprised Dave wasn't there. Dave Fifita, such a big performance on Sunday for the Titans. He played last year, obviously, so that I was caught off guard by that. I thought maybe he'd start the game and maybe Jaden Sewer would be on the bench, but Dave's not even in the squad. So I think New South Wales will breathe a sigh of relief that Dave's not there, because on his day, he can be a one-man wrecking machine.
I was stunned by Fafita's omission. I thought he'd been the 17 for sure. The Titans have been going enormous the last month, and he's lifted
There's
his
a big
work
reason
rate.
for that, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I think Billy answers it all right. I think Dave should feel a little bit disappointed. I think, as he would, and as I said, Cobbo like picking a winger, but then, 4 of the last 6 games, they've lost an outside back. So
He said he'd prepare to play Cobbo anywhere. I mean, I couldn't imagine him in the middle of the field. I mean, I can imagine him anywhere in the from centre, winger, fullback.
Could you imagine Kalen in the middle of the field when Kalen played in the middle of the field?
I can. Now,
Benny
now
Hunt
a dummy
played there,
half.
Cooper Cronk
Yeah,
played
I
there.
can imagine those players because they can play as a 9.
Yeah.
Selwyn runs out of dummy half would be hard to stop, especially with a fatiguing defensive line with New South Wales and later in the halves. But I still can't imagine it.
Right, he's still a weapon. You bring him on, you roam him, you give him the turbo licence from a couple of years ago. Don't stick to one side.
Yeah.
And just
It's
go.
a
He'll
luxury.
do a great job.
it's a luxury. To carry an
yeah,
outside back on the bench is a luxury.
It is.
So he might only get the last 10 minutes. If we're chasing points, if Selwyn Cobbo comes on fresh and it's all out attack,
He has been.
it's
Unbelievable this year.
And
Unbelievable.
centre, fullback,
It's
and on
it's
the
like
wing.
you just need him in the team. It's like let's
Yes.
just put him on the bench and we can play him anywhere because he's playing that good.
Right, there's a stat doing the rounds this year, from games this year, where if you lose an outside back in the first half of a footy game this year, if you don't carry one on the bench, you don't win. I think it's like 6 out of 24 games this year. Team that's lost an outside back in the first half. And
Are
not
you
have
telling me
one on the
wingers
bench.
are important?
Well, they're becoming more important.
Okay, right.
I should have told Madge that.
No, I'm not helping Madge.